What I want to ask you, because I know kind of your whole, at least business career that I've known, you've talked about sales, you've talked about very much professional setting.
Yeah.
But I've also known that you're a very driven person. From what I've heard, meaning you're not like you're a go-getter. You're not
absolutely.
you're not like somebody that like I look at and I'm like, yeah, she just is kind of boring and she doesn't like really work hard and she just kind of like flows through life.
Yeah.
Like you always seem, every time I talk to you, like I can see that you have like a passion for what you do and you like you want to. I think like I'm very much the same way. Like I get bored when I'm static. When I'm like if I know like if I'm at this level in my career. Like if I stay at that level for like even a month, I like go crazy because I just feel like I'm settling. So I'm always now with that obviously comes with its own challenges and by getting busier and excelling more. Yeah. But you're adapting. So I know that I'm better today than I was even yesterday or a year or 5 years ago. So my thing for you, like I kind of know this by myself, but what's your big, like what motivates you? Like what's your big motivation? Is it, I mean, and some people could say, hey, it's money. People could say it's title. Some people could say it's the amount of volume you do sale wise. Sometimes it can be totally different. I mean, do you have you ever really sat down? I know you have. I mean, I'm kind of doing this more for the people listening, but like what's your motivation in your, I guess, career? It doesn't even have to be Casella, but like your career as a professional. I guess it doesn't even have to be work career. Maybe it's just you as a person, but that, and then kind of what are your, I guess, plans from, I mean, we've talked about the whiteboard and stuff, but I know you obviously have goals. I know you're, like I said, you're a driven person. So kind of what motivates you? How do you go about it? How do you practice and execute what you want to accomplish?
Oof.
I don't know if you ever thought about it. I know you have, but like.
No, I have.
Yeah.
I think like the overarching theme and anything from work to anything outside of directly Casella work, I really like helping people and particularly helping people in our local community. So anything that revolves around that. So like my day to day, I'm just working with a ton of businesses in the area and yeah, it's just trash, but they've got to get rid of it. It's got to go somewhere. And if there's anything that I can do to alleviate their stress or whatever, it's just finding a way to help somebody is satisfying. And so I do a lot of volunteering in the local community. Like I even I bought my first rental. And just even looking for tenants. And like I just got a new tenant in and he works for a local business in like the J. Wilmington area. And just hearing how like that home is so significant to him, and then hearing from my neighbors how excited they are to have someone stable, and just seeing how you can help people in any kind of business is exciting in general. So I usually tend to do things that would be community centric or have an impact on somebody. But as far as goal setting, I am like wildly goal driven. So usually my brain, I work best on achievable goals. So like the same way my job is structured, same way my personal life is structured, I will have a list of goals. And, I might have to do 10 of X this week or whatever to achieve it, but I know I'm going to try to hit 12. And just incrementally step my way. And I usually try to have like what's this week? What's this year? What's the next 5-year vision? I'm still working on the 5-year vision of kind of life in general. But I've always just been very motivated by being able to achieve the goals. Certainly money is a huge factor of it, having been a commissioned person for a long time. But usually that's just a tool to continue taking steps forward. Like what can that money do to help build the next step in my career? Like working on right now, being able to see the future of the next rental that I could buy. How far away is it? What do I need to achieve in, XYZ to be able to afford that? So trying to break those steps down. But it is, I think just in general, trying to work with people and it keeps me going.
Do you, like, I'm kind of the same way. I'm a little different. I think my motivation for me is always trying to get better. I have a fear of, like lack of potential, if that makes sense.
Really?
Like
Okay.
if it's one where, meaning like if I don't think that I'm like squeezing every ounce of my potential out of myself, meaning I'm not the most gifted. People who listen to this podcast, I'm not the best interviewer. I stumble. I'm terrible with words, but
you did just fine, Galen.
But at the same time, like I'm trying to always improve. So like like I have a kind of a thing I have on my desk, and it's basically a lot of it like kind of like what motivates you. And I think a lot of it is there's a potential, especially because I'm a commission based. There's always the there's always the fear of lack of financial stability.
Oh, yes.
And that's I don't think I'll ever get by that, because I'm one day away from not being in a position, like, especially, I mean, right now, I hope not to be in the future, but like if I get sick or injured or catastrophic, like I'm not sitting there like I got years to go before I'm in a position where I really feel like stable. Which there's a motivation there, but my bigger motivation is like I said, lack of potential, where if I just find that there's days, and I have them, there's days where I'm like, why did you do this? Or why did you do that today? Or why are you wasting your time doing this, that, or the other thing? Because I know it's not allowing myself to hit the potential that I could. Yeah. The other factor, which you said, is I know I'm really good at what I do. Like I have the belief, maybe I'm not, but I have the belief. I have the belief that I am, and obviously my track record so far is is validated it. But like, I had the belief that I'm very good at what I do, and I believe that I have a skill set that other people don't have, that other people do need. Meaning, everybody lives in a home. Yeah. Like, whether or not you might not buy a home, but most people, I would say, if you polled them, majority would want to own their home at some point, or they're moving down. Like you said, trash isn't going anywhere. Yeah, and I think you joke about it. Like, you're always going to be in business, because until they find a way to just make trash dissolve in thin air, you're going to be in business. But I look at that, and I think you're the same, is that you have a skill set. You know you're good at what you do. And it's just one where if you have the confidence, and then you know that, like, I look at it every day, that I literally think everybody that's looking to buy or sell a home should contact me, because I think I believe in my head that I'm the best at there is. And like, is that right? Is that a little foolish to think? Possibly, but I think it's gotten me to this position, and I'm not, based on what I've accomplished, I don't think I'm far off, but I really think I have the belief that, I can help everybody out there, and I know the best route to help somebody. And I think that, like, for you, if you think that from, like I said, from a helping perspective, because to be honest, it's probably bad. I semi know budgeting. Like, I do a little bit, but like, I don't know how much I'm going to make this year. I really don't. Like, I might have a general idea. Like, I'll probably make X, Y, like a range, but I don't even know what I make on a commission check. Like, I do, like, if I really broke down the numbers, but like my actual income, like I have my board up there that I actually have I go by how many homes I sell. I track the volume I sell, just for the fact that kind of gives me a little perspective on, but like, I really look at how many people I can help, which is like, and the thing is, every year my goal bumps up quite a bit, but it's obtainable. Yes. But it's like oh shit, I got to try to accomplish it every year. And and the funny thing is, my 2 years ago, I beat my goal by 10%. Ooh. Which was good, and which is quite a bit. And then my next year, I was like, I beat that goal by, I shouldn't say 10%, but it was like, whatever it was, like, I did my goal, plus I did another 50% of that goal. Ooh. Is that 150%? I think it would be, because it's not double. It was like 1.5 times what I did the year prior.
I think so.
Or whatever. It was good. It was a good jump. But then I ended up wanting to do the same thing, and my goal, what I wanted to do, I doubled it last year. Out. So then if you go back 2 years ago, then I kind of look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I've like over doubled what I had then, which I just thought back then was big. So like, so what do I do this year? I do the same thing. So like, I'm hoping I accomplish it, but like, I'm telling you, like, come November, December, when I make that goal, like, I'm scared shitless, because I don't think I'm going to hit it. But then but then in the back of my head, like you said, it's obtainable, because I break it down to every day and every action and everything that I do. I try to work towards it, knowing that, I'm not going to accomplish that just by like doing this. Like, I got to really break it down. So when you goal plan and goal set, is that something that you focus on? Like, you break it down. I mean, do you break it down by, you're probably like me, like, hey, I got to make this phone call, or I got to, or I got to meet this client, or I got to do this, or it could even be like, I mean, I'm sure you've been in sales, you've been rejected. So like, I kind of look at that, like, I get rejected every day, and I have, like, my skin's pretty thick. Like, it takes a lot to really get under my skin. Yep. But have you had that factor too, where it's like something gets thrown in your face and like, good, like I'm going to help somebody else, or I'm going to do something different. Does that?
Yeah. It's interesting. So many layers of that to unpack, but one of the things I firmly believe in from any kind of, whether it's sales or management or anything of that nature, I think your goals, particularly those who have financial goals, need to be achieved from a behavior-based standpoint. So your goals should be behavior-based, because if I'm going in to meet with a customer and I'm like, oh, shit, man, I got to make $10 off this guy. Like, then I'm not making the decision from, that's not my value standpoint. I'm not going to try to squeeze some money out of a guy. If he needs the service and it's the right service at the right price for him and us, then we'll have business. And if it doesn't make the $10, well, then I got to go find somebody else to meet the difference or whatever. But so I try to do behavior-based things, which is interesting because when I originally started in sales, we actually had the behaviors already planned out for us. So here's your financial goals. The company believes these behavior-based goals will equal those financial goals. On my job now, we don't have that. And we actually, we're going through some training with a company that I've done training with before, some sales type training that is helping us try to craft those behavior-based goals. So I try to do a lot of things. I try to do them on a weekly basis because a month is too far out, but a week, I can't do a day by day. Like my day's not the same every day.
Yeah,
so
great. Yep.
Try to bring it down to the weekly basis and try to keep something consistent and achievable, because you can always grow it. And so I'm trying to work on some of those behavior-based goals that I know lead into the financial goals, and then reassess, like check the finances as, did I make the right decisions on what behavior-based goals that I had? Did I achieve my financial goal? If I didn't, did I shoot high? Did I shoot low? And adjust from there. But on so many levels, like you were saying, from, if you get rejected and you're like, oh great, I'll just go work with somebody else. One of the things that I've been really focusing on in my work now has been really difficult, because I come from a standpoint of wanting to help people, and I'm realizing like you can't help everyone. Not everybody wants to be helped. You might not be the right solution for everybody. There's so many different layers in between, and I do firmly believed in the model of every year you should get rid of your bottom 10% so you can grow that much farther on your top end. Whether that's growing your current customers or whatever. But I've had to start looking seriously at accounts that are bleeding us from an administrative time standpoint. So like, if you have a customer that's making you enough margin to have 2 pennies to rub together at the end of the day, do you really still have 2 pennies if you're spending, 5 hours a month in collections calls? Well, probably not. If you only had 2 pennies that month, that doesn't cover the admin costs. So it's kind of hard to step away and separate yourself from a customer, but you got to realize when it's not the right fit for both at the same time. So I kind of had to do the dreary side.
That's something that I knew this day was coming for me, meaning like this is my 9th year. I've talked about this before on the show. My first year, I sold 3 homes, and I would go in and I would have 1 to 3 calls a day. That was my business. I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't very proactive at going and generating business. So I knew there would become a day where I just don't have time. Yeah. I'm hitting that point now where I just don't have time. I have 5, I would say on average, I meet with 3 to 6 different people a day in different capacities. Every day I look at my calendar. You're probably the 5th or 6th person today. Same thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then I look at it and I go, when do I have time in that time frame to make my outbound prospecting calls, which I try to do every day? Well, I'll tell you right now, today is Tuesday, tomorrow's going on Wednesday. I touched 5 of probably 70 people that I had to contact Monday. Guess what happened today? I have add on Tuesday, add on a couple. Now I got some stuff done, but I'm rolling in tomorrow with my database tomorrow. I have to contact about 100 people. And guess what? I got 6 appointments. So like this is literally my life. Every day starts Monday, and I really try to make my Monday as packed as possible from a call standpoint. And unfortunately, this Monday I wasn't able to do that. Like I just had stuff that like I couldn't push people. Like I'm not going to push a client off that wants to see something because I got to sit here and make calls and do stuff. The whole purpose is to get them to that position. But I'll go. I'll get to the final week, and I'm getting to the point now where I'm going through a week, and it's like I didn't accomplish 30 or 40% of what I needed to accomplish. Well, that's what it gets rolled into the next week, and then. So I think what you said, it's like, should I? But I'm always I think part of this is just me as it's been my mindset for 9 years is not to say no. I'm a big yes person. Like I want to help people.
It's tough though.
So I get someone like I'm getting to the point now that I'm kind of starting to grow a team here that I can start to hand off stuff more, which frees me up.
Yeah.
Because I've always had this in my head. Do I not deal with a client that's looking at a lower price property or looking at something that I don't make a big. Someone yesterday went and looked at a place, about a half hour away. Really not a high end property, was probably going to make not a lot of money on it.
Right.
I went and showed it. Part of the reason is I've been dealing with her for 5 years, and I have a loyalty where could I have sent that and just handed her off to somebody? I could, but there's going to be a point where I know I won't be able to do that, but I try like hell to try to. And I think part of it is just I'm very loyal to my people that I've worked with. They've bought a home before. They want to see something. I got a buddy out in Malone. I don't go out to Malone that often just because of the time. I mean, if it's worth my trip, sure, I'll sure as hell go out there. But to me, like to go out and just see a house randomly, I don't do it. Now this guy calls me maybe once a year, every 2 years, because he really wants to see something. I know he financially can do it. I know and he's a great dude. I love talking to him. So I'll make the trip out there to go see him. But is it worth my time? Is it the best allocation of my time? Probably not. But it's a factor of he also bought a home for me in my second year in business. So I have a loyal, awesome. I think at the time that he bought a home, that might've been my biggest sale to date at the time. And,
that's cool.
Yeah, but it's you got the factor of I know at some point I can't do that. At some point I'm really going to have to, even a lot of the people that I'm working with now, I'm probably going to have to hand off to newer agents coming in, which is great. That's what I ultimately want for the company. But it's kind of I have a hard time. It's almost
giving away your baby.
Yeah, it's like giving away. And I mean, I'm also one, I'll prospect and state. I mean, anybody that knows me, the amount of people that have said, honestly, we're going with you because you've been talking to us for 3-4 years when we told you we're 3-4 years away. I'm very big on, I will literally stay with you until you tell me, hey, kid, beat it, or we don't like working with you. But I mean, it's gotten to me where I am now, but it's the time. The time is so finite right now that with a child, with a family, one on the way, it's I would work here till, I love what I do. I would work here till 10 at night, every night. But, I want to go home and, see the kid. Weekends, I try to spend with family. Yeah. I would work all weekend because I love this stuff up here, trying to find time in the day to do that stuff. And it's not there,